It's Ash from Super Videos back for another Q&A video. So this is gonna be Q&A number 38. Now I know this Q&A is a bit late, but I just didn't have time to get to it until now, so let's get right into this. Of course, if you're not caught up with the Walking Dead's TV show and comic book, don't watch this video because it may spoil things for you. So that being said, let's get right into this. The first question comes from Royal Skink 35 Royal. They ask, do you think Morales from Season 1 will make a return? I think he will return as Beta. LOL. By the way, thanks for answering a nice video. Thank you for your compliment. In terms of your actual question, I think we should probably just stop asking about Morales. He's never coming back. And that theory you have that he is Beta, there's a lot of loopholes with that. So I'm not gonna get into it. It just doesn't work. And Morales is not coming back. Next question comes from Jig Almandrez the Goose. They ask, name at least 3 background characters that you want to see developing her character. So that's actually a great question. I would probably say Jerry from the Kingdom, Cindy from Oceanside, and maybe Tobin from Alexandria. That's a good question though. Now, that being said, I don't think they should actually invest that much time with these characters because they're background characters and there's a lot of characters currently in the story. So if they're gonna spend a lot of time developing these characters, it might take away from developing more important characters. So there's a trade-off here. So they need to invest enough time developing these characters, but not too much. That's a good question. The next question comes from Chandler Patterson. He asks, who do you want, Sasha or Rosita? So if you're asking in terms of their looks and who's more attractive, I would probably say Rosita. But if you're saying who's a better soldier, I would say Sasha. The next question, also from Chandler Patterson, you ask, how will Morales react if he saw Negan and what he does to other people? Another Morales question, at least it's not asking if he's going to come back, which is a plus. So to answer your question, I would think that Morales would be just as outraged and disgusted with Negan as everybody else is. So I don't think there's a big difference there. I think from what we saw from Morales, which was not that much, Morales does not like people like that. So yeah, that's what we can get from there. The next question comes from Mystery Gamer. They ask, what character would you bring back for All Out War? Good video and I subbed. So thanks for your compliment. Thank you for subbing. Welcome to the channel. And in terms of your question, who would I bring back for All Out War? It's gotta be Abraham. There's no question about it. Abraham all the way. This war would have been a lot better with Abraham. The next question comes from The Gaming Wolf. They ask, what's your favorite issue in the Whisper War and your favorite moments? That's a great question. So for my favorite issue, it would be the one where the hilltop is attacked. I think it's issue 161. That was an amazing issue. Now for favorite moments, there's a bunch of favorite moments I have. I would probably say one is, again, in that same issue with the hilltop being attacked, where Carl runs into the house and saves some people, and there's another part in that same issue where it looks like Carl is shot, but then he doesn't get shot. He dodges all of the bullets or all of the arrows. So that would be another favorite. Another one would probably be the most recent one from the Whisper War. I think it's the last issue where we see all of the walkers fall into the ocean from the cliff. That was an amazing one. Also, when all of the walkers come into Alexandria, they break the gates. That's another amazing moment. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Great question. The next question comes from Carmen de Jesus. They ask, will the war start in Season 8, Episode 1, 2, and 3? So you're basically asking which episode it's gonna start. I would probably say Episode 1 of Season 8 is gonna pick up exactly from where we leave off in this episode, which is the finale. And that's basically gonna still be part of March to War. The war has not yet been completely triggered. So I think the actual war will start in the second half of the first episode, or maybe even the second episode of Season 8. That's a good question. The next question comes from Jig Almandrez the Goose. You have 4 questions. Before I answer, please limit your questions to 2 because if you ask 4 questions, then I can't get through everybody. So make sure to just limit your questions to 2. The first question you have is, will Maggie join the militia for the upcoming war? She could, but she still has the baby to take care of, and she wants the baby to be healthy, so I think she just needs to concentrate on the baby first. Maybe afterwards she can help. But she can still help with being a leader. She doesn't need to be in the front line with the militia fighting. She can definitely be back at the hilltop and leading the group. So yeah. The next question. It's obvious that All Out War will begin in Season 8, so what specific episode for the upcoming season would they start the battle? I already answered this question, probably episode 2. But I could definitely see them actually starting the actual battles in the first episode of Season 8 as well. But if they're gonna do that, it would have to be the second half of the episode, because the first half will be completing whatever we start in this episode that we're gonna see tonight. The next question you have is, the Alexandria Safe Zone guard tower is gone. Where do you think they shot the scene where Andrea in the comic had an epic battle with the Savior, which is obviously gonna happen in the TV show? So I definitely think it's gonna happen, I agree with you. Now in terms of what they're gonna replace the tower with, I think just a very tall building. They don't need to have a tower as long as it's just a very tall building. So it makes sense for the sharpshooter to be up there. That's a good question. How significant is Negan's knowledge about the post-apocalyptic world to the survivors? That's actually another great question. I think Negan probably has the same amount of knowledge as everybody else. He's survived for this long, so that's gotta mean something. Of course, Gregory survived for this long and he doesn't know shit, so yeah, we can't be completely sure until they actually tell us, but I think Negan has the same amount of knowledge about this world as Rick does. Maybe even more than Rick, because he controls many communities and he's not just looking at his own community. So maybe more than Rick even. The next question comes from the one and only bad guy. They ask, how old is Rick supposed to be in The Walking Dead's TV show? I'm not quite sure. I would look at the Wikia. I think there's a lot of inconsistencies with his age in the comics, but let's just look at the Wikia and go with whatever age they say, because if we actually try to calculate it ourselves, there's going to be inconsistencies. So let's just look at the Wikia and see what they say, and let's just go with that. The next question comes from Nick Woods. They ask, if Daryl was to die in All Out War, how do you think he would go? I've actually explained this in my previous videos. I think he would go by doing something heroic and saving a group of people, or maybe just one person. Maybe even just saving Rick himself. That would be pretty badass. So that's how I think he should go if he's gonna go during All Out War. The next question comes from Lynette Patrish. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Not really good at pronouncing names, but your question is, several people have brought up Tobin possibly dying, which is very possible, but I'd like to know if you think Eric may die. He never ever goes out with the group on missions, and I see he's gonna be out with the group. IMO, I think that spells death for him. Do you think maybe Sasha will bite him if the story plays out how most of us think? Sorry if I ramble in my question. No worries, you didn't ramble, I completely got your question. So, Tobin can die for sure, Eric can die, you're right, he's never been out the walls, and that definitely spells trouble for him. And also, Eric and Aaron had this little scene before Aaron went out for the first time, and to me that was like a hint at one of them dying, so that definitely adds to our suspicions that he may go. Now, in terms of who Sasha is gonna bite if she turns into a walker, I'm still going with either Tara or Rosita, but Tobin and Eric could definitely be one of those as well. The next question comes from Jacob Colin. They ask, will Heath return in Season 8 All Out War or March to War? Well, March to War is almost done, so if he's gonna come back in March to War, then he has to come back in this episode we're gonna see tonight. But I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. I don't even think he's coming back during the war. Maybe, but I just don't think so. I think he's probably gonna be coming back afterwards, after the war is done. The next question also comes from Jacob Colin. You ask, when The Walking Dead and it showed a little sneak peek, and when it showed Rick and Carol holding a gun, are they shooting the Saviors? So you're talking about the promo. There's definitely a shot where Rick is shooting some people, So I think that's either the Scavengers or the Saviors. I've already talked about this in my theory video that I did before this video, so you can go there and check that video if you're interested to know more about that. So yeah, now in terms of Carol, she wasn't shooting at anyone. She was just marching towards Alexandria with Ezekiel and the other Kingdomers. So she's not shooting anyone. I didn't see Carol shooting anyone. So if you're talking about another promo, I haven't seen it. So yeah, that's it for the questions. Thank you for participating. If you want to participate in my next Q&A video, write your questions in the comment section below. Make sure to put Q&A before your comment so I can find it. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll be back for another video.